A low mood is like a rainy day. Depression is when the season refuses to change.
And before you blame yourself, remember that even a strong brain can have a tired month. Having a depression can be both very heavy and exhausting.
Today, we're making sense of something almost everyone feels, but few explains clearly.
We will explain this simply and without no drama.
Welcome back to GNL, Real Life No Gloss. I'm George. Usually I fix bones for a living, but today we are talking about something you can't see on an X-ray.
And I'm Lena, someone who has definitely Googled why do I feel like a sad potato today at 2 a.m.
Sad potato? Is that a medical term or?
It could be. Instead of ICD-11 code, we can have SP2 AM. It doesn't sound so bad.
For people that they don't know what is ICD-10 and 11 are the codes that your doctor puts for diagnosis. Today, we are dividing into something almost universal. That heavy feeling that makes you want to cancel plans and become one with your couch.
So we're talking about low mood versus depression. When should you be concerned and what actually helps? Because sometimes you're just having a bad day or you're dealing with a real medical condition that needs proper help. What I have noticed is people mix the words.
Yes, people throw around like depressed, like it's the same thing, I'm tired, or I had the bad week.
And then someone who actually has depression hears that and thinks, wait, am I supposed to just push this through?
So Lena, today we're going to make the difference clear.
And a quick disclaimer before we start. This podcast is educational only, and it's not a personal medical advice. We're not your doctors. If you feel like you're struggling, please talk to a clinician who knows you and your history. No shame, no labels, just clarity.
Perfect. So, we explained what low mood is, what depression is, red flags, why it happens, and what helps.
Yes, let's go. Let's start at the beginning. What is low mood? Because I feel like people throws around the terms like I'm depressed when they really mean I'm having a rough day. Can you explain?
Low mood is an emotional state. Think like it's a natural response to life. Like your system says, I am overloaded. Mm-hmm. Something needs attention. Think that it's normal, it's healthy, and it's part of emotional weather, of being a human, like with a nervous system and responsibilities. Think it like this.
Emotional weather. I like that. So it's not permanent, you say. It's not a diagnosis.
No. A low mood usually comes after identifiable triggers like poor sleep. Even, one bad night can tank your mood. Stress at work or home. If you have some conflict with someone that you care about, loneliness or feeling, disconnected, too many responsibilities, hormonal changes like periods, postpartum or perimenopause, and of course for us up here, seasonal changes, winter darkness.
So basically it's like your brain checks engine light.
Exactly. A low mood is the emotional equivalent of feeling physically tired. And usually it's the brain that says, I need a rest, I need care. I need different inputs. It's informations, not an identity. It's very important, this.
And this is also what I have noticed about low mood. Low mood moves, it rises, it falls, it follows life. Like yesterday was terrible, but today I feel better. That's low mood.
Right. It usually, lasts few hours to a few days. When the circumstances changes, for example, you catch up on sleep, you resolve the conflict, there's some time for yourself, it lifts. and think this like a response to life.
Like I know exactly when I get it, too much work, too little sleep, too much scrolling through Instagram, watching other people's highlights, reels while I'm sitting in the sweatpants eating my chocolate for dinner.
Yes, exactly. This is a typical trifecta.
I have those days that suddenly everything feels heavy and my personality feels like it's buffering. You know, that loading circle, that's my brain.
Personality buffering, you should trademark that. But the key message is, low mood, it's normal. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a character flaw. It's your system asking for maintenance. So simple.
Basically, like when your phone says low battery or battery low. It's not broken, but it just needs charging. Am I right?
Exactly. Nobody saves at their phone for needing to charge.
Though I do get slightly judgmental when it dies at 23%.
Yeah, it's fair, but it's a character issue for a specific phone.
Okay, that's low mood. When does it cross the line? When does I'm having a tough week become something more?
Okay, I think because this is crucial. Depression is not being sad, okay? It's a medical condition. A real, measurable, diagnosable condition. It's like, I think, hypertension or diabetes, okay? Clinical depression, specifically major depressive disorder, means at least 2 weeks of persistent low mood or a loss of interest in things that you normally enjoy. Plus, there are some additional symptoms that affect your daily functioning.
Exactly. So it's 2 weeks, not 2 days, not one bad weekend.
Correct. It's that time frame matters. And depression usually brings a cluster of symptoms for at least 2 weeks, and they impair your life. That's when we start thinking, oh, this is depression. I think some of the core symptoms of depression is, number one, persistent exhaustion. Not just tired, but bone deep fatigue. That sleep cannot fix it. Number two, think loss of pleasure. Exists a specific word called anhedonia, that the things that used to make you happy just don't anymore. Number three, things like sleep changes. There are people that they are sleeping too much, or people with insomnia, especially waking up at 3 a.m. in the night and just lying there. Number four, appetite changes, like eating too much or much less than usually. Number five, difficulty to concentrating, like brain fogs. I cannot focus, I can't make decisions. And here it comes like another that it's very, very, very important. It's feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt. Like when we harsh self-criticism ourselves. And usually this is out of proportion. Think now, like number seven, hopelessness. This sense that it will not get better. And of course there are some others like psychomotor changes. It's like a number 8. Either slow down like you are moving through honey, or restless, or agitated. And of course, the last and very, very important, thoughts about death. Ranging, from I don't want to be here to active suicidal thinking.
The loss of pleasure, that one is huge. And I believe that's the one that catches people out of guard.
In this you are right, because many people expect that depression is to feel like intense sadness. Like, oh no, I'm sitting on the couch and crying all day. But often it feels like, nothing.
That part when you enjoy things, It's really bad not to feel any pleasure in it.
It's like emptiness. Like, when people say, okay, I feel nothing. I don't enjoy anything anymore. I don't feel like myself. Like this, it's depression fingerprint. It's not a dramatic tear. It's a flatness, like someone turned down the color saturation of your life, like the color of your mobile, something.
So if low mood is passing a great day, depression is when the sky hasn't cleared for weeks. The season is stuck. To summarize, low mood, temporary dip, depression, persistent state that affects function in life.
Exactly, it's the correct summary. Something critical that trips people is that, usually depression is not always linked to a life crisis. For example, you can have a good job, a loving family, money in the bank, nice apartment, vacations, and still develop depression. Because it's mostly biological, psychological, and social problems. It's not a character defect, it's not a weakness, it's not having nothing to complain about.
I feel this way.
Yes.
That's such an important point. I think people feel guilty, like my life is fine. Why do I feel like this?
This is the big problem, that the guilt makes it worse. It becomes like I'm depressed and I'm ungrateful, like double the suffering.
It looks like depression is the only illness that makes you feel bad for having it.
Sadly, yes. Don't tell to people like with asthma, just breathe better. We don't shame people with broken bones for thinking themselves healed. Depression deserves exactly the same understanding.
Let's talk about the numbers. How common is this actually?
Unfortunately, it's extremely common. Around 1 to 6 adults will experience depression at some point of their lifetime. Some studies say it's even higher.
I think I'm in this list all the time. 1 out of 6, back pain, I was also in the list.
We click another episode,
Well, I believe this is a very important episode and I like this theme. 1 out of 6. So if you listen in a room with 5 other people, that means that the 6th ones probably is going through some type of depression, low mood.
I think that statistically, at least one of you outside will deal with this, and probably more. You know why? Because those numbers only count people who seek help and get diagnosed. So because of that, I said that probably it's even higher.
And also probably many people do not even speak about it. They just keep it for themselves.
No, usually, people hide it because they think it means that, I'm weak, I'm broken, or crazy, this word that I don't even like when people use it. But in medicine, we see depression the way we see any other condition. It's common, okay? It's treatable. It's nothing to be ashamed.
I'm with you, I agree. So if someone is listening right now and thinking, oh my God, this is me, they're not alone and you are not weird, statistically normal. So do not feel weird or ashamed about it.
Yes, I think that depression is more common than the most physical injuries. People, they break bones every day. Depression affects far more people. And I think that the most of them, of course, they don't come to the orthopedic clinic.
But if they do, they can always say, I'm emotional fractured, doctor.
Yes, usually I will try to refer them, but, I take it seriously because a broken spirit needs setting just like a broken bone.
Help signs. Before we go deeper, let's talk about the serious stuff, like the red flags that don't wait.
Okay, so this is very important. Red flags means that the best thing that you have to do is to contact your doctor or to seek for help. Medical emergencies, that it's very serious. It's number one, it's thought of harming yourself. Okay, feelings like you don't want to live anymore. Things making a plan or preparing to act one of those thoughts. Unable to function, like not eating, not getting out of bed, not showering. Another symptom is like extreme hopelessness, the sense that nothing will ever be okay. Another red flag, hearing or seeing things that they aren't there. And the last one that I want to inform also people, if they see to some friends or in the family, is sudden, severe personality changes.
And George, I want to say this directly to anyone also who's listening, who relates to this list. Reach out for help is not a failure. Don't forget that. It's not a weakness. It's your brain saying, I need support right now. And all of us probably have been, will be in the future or at some point feeling this bad mood or
in a situation that you need help, like it's...
So don't be ashamed just to reach out for help.
It's the same if you have like a chest pain, it's a signal that you don't ignore. Okay, you search for, you go to your doctor, okay? So do exactly the same even if you have those red flags. Don't forget that, there are crisis lines, emergency rooms, there are people that they want to help. Reaching out is brave, it's not weakness. And even if you worry about someone else, like ask them directly, are you thinking about hurting yourself? People think that it's not okay to ask, but it's okay. You don't plant the idea when you ask, just open a door.
Yeah, it's a heavy topic, but a necessary one. Thank you for saying it so clearly because it's important for other people also to hear this, I believe.
Yes, and I think that now we go a little bit forward to understand why this happens, the science behind the fog.
Okay, science time. Why do people bounce back from hard times while others falls into the long fog? Can you explain?
Okay, I think that as always, in medicine, most of the things, they are not a single cause, okay? Depression sits at the intersections of basically three pillars, like low back pain: biology, psychology, and life context, okay? So if we start first with biology, think that your brain is an organ. Just like your heart, your liver, your kidneys, it can get sick, okay? It can get out of balance. Now, the factors that they include this can be genetics, okay? Depression runs in families. If your parents struggled, your risk is higher. The neurotransmitter imbalance, the typical serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrines, it's like the brain chemical messengers, hormones, like thyroid hormones, sex hormones, cortisol, this stress hormone. People with inflammation, like chronic inflammation in the body, can affect brain function. Chronic pain or illness. Nutrients deficiency, low vitamin D, B12, omega-3s. And of course, as always, sleep disorders. Disrupted sleep disrupts everything.
So when people says it's all in your head, as an insult, technically, yes, it is in your head because your brain is there and is physically affected.
Exactly. The thing that it is in your head is literally your brain's mood and stress system that are under, dysregulation. It's no shame. This can happen. It's, the normal physiology of the body.
How about psychology?
Okay, when we are talking about psychology is how you think about yourself, and the word shapes your vulnerability. The word can shape your vulnerability to depression. There are some things like perfectionism, nothing is good enough, okay? Harsh self-criticism. You are meaner to yourself than you will ever be to others. People with catastrophizing thoughts, like assuming the worst outcome is inevitable. There are people with black and white thinking. Everything is perfect or a disaster, like no middle ground. And one thing that many people do and they don't realize is it's called rumination, when you're replaying the painful moments on a loop. It's typical.
Many people are good.
Yes, like the same story again and again, repeat the movie. And of course, when you have, past trauma, unresolved pain from childhood or previous experience.
Oh, my inner voice. Ooh, she should write a whole depression in 20 minutes if I let her. Like, you failed in that thing, you probably failed in everything. Remember that embarrassing moment from 2014? God knows, like the list can be forever long.
Don't forget that most people's inner voice is far harsher than any doctor, boss or critic will ever be. You will never talk to a friend the way that you talk to yourself. Usually it's negative,
Probably if we spoke to our friends how we speak to ourselves, probably we end up with no friends.
Exactly, and that's what will happen. But therapy helps with, rewiring those patterns.
How about life context?
Okay, when we are talking about, the life context, it's what's actually happening around you, and here we have the chronic stress because of the work, money, many people nowadays, relationship, loneliness, social isolation, is a massive risk factor. Grief and loss, but probably we will talk a little bit about the grief and the loss after. Relationship conflicts, financial pressure, when you have also major life transitions. This can be also positive. Like you are moving in a new place, you have a new job. And toxic work environments, but it's very, very important to understand that, the work environment, it's very important in our lives.
Well, what to say, our caveman brains are trying to process Instagram. No wonder why they are overwhelmed.
You have another that's called when today what doesn't help. You don't see it?
No.
It's very strange.
Right.
Because you see, everything is fast, competitive, exposed. We make a pause here, you get it.
We make a pause here.
From the toxic work environment, we take it again, start.
And today's world doesn't help either. Everything is going so fast, everything is competitive, everything is so exposed, compared, and of course, so much filtered.
Modern life, it's basically a chronic stressor. Our brains evolved from tribal villages and slow seasons. And if you see today, we have 24-hour news cycles, global comparison on the social media, emails at midnight, calls, messages, it's impossible to handle.
And our poor caveman brain is trying to process this Instagram. No wonder it's overwhelmed.
You know why? It's why the other caveman, mammoth, bigger and has a ring light. It's always like this.
And a podcast, of course, about hunting routine.
Yes.
Can we also mention grief?
Yes, as I told you before, grief can look like depression with low mood, crying, low energy. What is the difference? Grief is usually tied to a specific loss. And even inside grief, can be moments of, connection, meaning, relief, something. In depression, it tends to be more global and persistence. The line can be blurry and sometimes grief and depression overlap. But if someone, of course, is unsure, it's worth talking to a professional.
That much. We're talking about the villain in everybody's pocket. The phone, does it really affect the mood?
Of course. And I say, me, that I use my phone too much. But, the evidence suggests a link, for many people. I think that the phone can affect the mood with three main mechanisms. The number one mechanism, it's the overstimulation. Your brain is never truly off. Notifications, alert, the urge to check, That way the nervous system never fully rests. Number two, comparison. Social media, for example, and you are comparing your real, unfiltered life to everyone else's edited highlight reel. This is a recipe for feeling inadequate, okay? Again, number three, sleep. Sleep distraction. Late night scrolling, suppress melatonin and delay sleeps and ruins the sleep quality, which your mood depends on. Very important.
My phone is basically my toxic relationship. It gives me attention and anxiety at the same time. It makes me feel connected and lonely. It's always there, but never supportive. What do you say about that?
I think that that's by design. These apps are engineered by some of the smartest people on the planet to be maximally addictive, You are not weak for struggling with it. You are human fighting against $1 billion attention economy.
Okay, we talked about what it is and why it happens. Now help people what actually works.
Okay, we can discuss about 4 things, except that, you have to speak with someone professional. But practical and evidence based, you can start with number 1, reset the story, as we spoke in the previous podcast also. It's, the thoughts. We start from this. Negative thoughts, patterns, fuel, and the fog, okay? It's like you are adding gasoline to a fire that you are trying to put out. You are not aiming for toxic positivity, but you are aiming most for accuracy. Instead, like, I'm always feel like this, nothing even works, I'm broken. Practice something easy. This is hard right now, but feelings change, I have gotten through harder times before. This can improve. Easy things.
It's not pretending everything is fine.
No.
It's about stopping your brain from writing horror movies about your future, which we are really experts at.
But basically, your brain is excellent at catastrophizing. Your job is to fact-check it gently. Number 2, sleep. This is the simple most underrated antidepressant on the planet. Your emotional brain literally resets while you are sleeping. Without good sleep, mood regulation fall apart. And as we said before, keep practicing. Same wake up time every day and go at the same time to bed. Even weekends, this is not negotiable for your circadian rhythms. Unfortunately, phone out of the bedroom or at a minimum across the room, and of course do not disturb. Dim lights 1-2 hours before bed. This can help melatonin production. And because many people, they keep their phones, I know someone every night, yes, no heavy news or stressful content before sleep. Because your last inputs save your sleep quality. And if you can, cool the room and dark room, because the body temperature needs to drop for a good sleep.
Well, I hate to say again, but that phone rule, I know it's true.
I know, we fight almost every night. But don't forget, the best health advice is often the most annoying. Don't forget this. Another action that you can do is move. And why? Think that the first thing that depression does is that it kills motivation. So you wait to feel like doing something, but that feeling never comes. So you flip that rule, like I move, I make an action, and motivation follows. You don't wait to feel motivated. Start with a tiny action, and that creates momentum, which in the future creates more energy, which creates motivation.
What counts as an action?
Smaller than you think. As always, 10 minutes walk, not a marathon, 10 minutes. Taking a shower, even if you don't feel like it. Making your bed. Call or text a friend or talk. Eating an actual meal instead of snacks. Cleaning your room or, a drawer or something. Or, just open the door, go out and stand there for 5 minutes. And don't forget that those things maybe sounds very easy, But when we are talking about depression states, it's very, very hard.
So consistency beats intensity.
Exactly. Depression hates momentum. So you try to give it micro momentum, and these tiny wins stack up.
The fourth one?
The fourth one, it's the connection. Humans are not designed to suffer alone. We are tribal creatures. Isolation makes everything worse. Talk to someone, even if it's awkward, even if you don't know what to say, just talk. Very important, talk.
What do you even say?
Simply, hey, I'm not okay right now, I'm not feeling well.
That's it.
That's enough, it's more than enough. You don't need to explain everything or, I have figured it out or nothing. Simply a word like I'm struggling can open doors.
What about if you don't have anyone to talk to?
Helplines exist, support group exist, online communities exist. A therapist is a connection, start somewhere. And because many people, they do this, and I have noticed many years, they go to forums and they write. It's better to search help, in lines, supporting groups, to have a contact with a real person, a voice, not only texting behind a screen.
Let's talk about professional help. When should someone consider it?
You always consider a professional when, low mood lasts more than 2 weeks. If the situation affects your work, your relationship, or your daily function. You have tried self-help strategies and they are not enough. If you have episodes that they keep coming back, and very important, if you are having thoughts of self-harm. Therapy helps by changing the thought patterns that might end the depression, like cognitive behavior therapy, and it has a strong evidence base.
Actually, I like that one. I have studied it.
You have studied,
the tools you can get there are amazing if you learn how to use them and if you practice. And I believe it's really good. What about the medication part?
Of course, you speak with your doctor. Medication, we are talking mostly for antidepressants. They work by adjusting brain chemistry to make therapy more effective and lift, the floor so you can function. Think that antidepressants don't give you happiness, but they can reduce the intensity of symptoms enough that you can function and engage in life again. Also, clinicians, like your doctor, usually screens for bipolar future first, because treatment choices differ.
People worry about they will change their personality, that they will become like a zombie. What do you say about that?
When antidepressant works well, people don't say, I feel like a different person. They usually say, I feel like myself again. It doesn't erase your personality. It helps you find it again, under that fog.
It's a beautiful way to put it, and very important. But they lift this.
And very important. It's not forever for everyone. Okay? Many people use medication for a period. They stabilize. They learn coping strategies. And eventually taper off with medical supervision. It's a tool, it's not a life sentence.
I agree. Okay, let's give the people something practical.
As we always say, simply 3 steps plan for this week. Okay? Step 1, stabilize sleep. Pick one consistent bed or wake time. Very important. Sleep, sleep, sleep. We keep repeating in all the podcast. Even if you sleep badly, get up at the same time. It resets the rhythm. Step 2, daily movement. Do something. 10 minutes minimum. Walk, stress, anything. You don't need to put intensity. Just move. Step 3, connect. Connect with someone. One message, one interaction. Speak. Call family, friends, and speak. The connection also is very important.
That's it. 3 things.
That's it. It's simple, isn't it? But it's doable. And doable beats ambitious every time when you are struggling.
1 tough days, shrink it, but don't skip it.
Exactly. And, less, it's not 0. That's the rule.
All right. Rapid fire question. Fast and useful. Ready? Go. Can I exercise when my mood is low?
Of course, especially walking. When your mood is low, keep it light, keep it short. Don't aim for intensity, aim for consistency.
Is depression forever?
No. Depression is treatable and manageable. Many people have one episode and never have another. Others have recurrent episodes, but they learn to manage them well.
Can I just willpower my way out of that depression?
No. You treat any medical condition with structure, support, sometimes, of course, professional help, but willpower, it's not a treatment plan.
Those social media make depression worse.
For many people, yes. It's not the apps themselves, it's the endless comparison and disruption to sleep and presence. Use it consciously or it uses you.
How about if I feel better, but my doctor says keep taking the medication?
Don't forget that feeling better might be the medication working. Don't stop without medical guidance. Why? There are typically a recommended period to stay on treatment, even after symptoms improve, to prevent relapse. This is the trick and the key, to prevent relapse.
Can I drink alcohol when I'm depressed?
Basically, alcohol is a depressant. It might feel like it helps in the moment, but it makes depression worse over time. If you are struggling, less is better. And don't forget that alcohol interacts badly with many medications.
Yeah. What if I don't have time for self-care?
Then you need it even more. You are not too busy, for self-care. You are not too busy not to do it. Start number 3, move. Start with something. Start 1 minute, that will be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Move.
All right, time for our takes. What's your core message, George?
My take is your mood is not your identity. It's a state. State changes, and you are not your worst day. You are not your hardest moment. Start with one small action and do that one thing every day. Momentum beats motivation. Very important. Your take?
My take? When life feels heavy, don't despair. Tell one person, just one. I'm not okay, it's enough. You don't need to figure it out. Connection is medicine. Humans are meant to carry this alone.
Yeah, but that's beautiful. And if someone you love is struggling, reach out. Ask directly and be present. You don't need to fix it. Just being there helps more than you know.
Try the 3 steps week. Let us know what changed. Message us, comment, share your experience. What do you say?
And if you are listening and thinking, no, this is me and I'm scared, reach out to a friend, to a professional, to us. You don't have to figure this out alone. Help exists, and asking for it is the bravest thing that you can do. And tonight, do your mood one favor. Put your phone to bed before you put yourself to bed.
And maybe give yourself permission to feel human. That's not failure, that's life.
Yep, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.